Alright, hi everybody, it's me, Bonkai922. Time for another anime series review. People are writing some good comments here, some troll comments. I took care of that. Interesting comments, people, from the anime series reviews. But this is going to be the worst one. Chivalry of a Failed Knight. Now, once again, like with Seraph, and by the way, I should have actually dubbed tone down the rating for Seraph. You really should be like a 7.5 or an 8. But anyway, like with Seraph, this was I read the what was it was it's not a manga, it's a light novel, but it was a manga form, and I started reading it. Not all of it, but some. Excuse me. And it was pretty good. I mean, from what it was the concept was. Um, Essentially we have in this universe of this world, people go to a school and become a knight, and we are introduced to this kid, Ikki Kurogane, who is essentially an F student, an F class knight. He is below everybody, and he doesn't have like special powers with his you know sword, and he has to basically work his way up. Eventually, he gets, a vote of confidence from this girl, Stella, who, uh, she's hot as fuck. Um, who is also um, like I said, was my screen went blank. Screensaver. Anyway, she's also a, you know, sword woman, if you call it, and they kind of buddy up in a way, and they kind of fall in love in a way. But the behind the scenes thing about this is that Ikki is shunned by his family. More importantly, his father. What a fucking douche! Also, a douche in this series is this guy who works for his father. But what was interesting to know for this series, I found, was that, like, I just saw the last episode. That fight was pretty beast, I have to say. And not just because of see what I really liked about the last couple of episodes. It sets it up very well. I mean, I don't know what anybody else thinks about this series. I haven't heard what people thought of this series and so on and so forth. But if I was to judge the final episodes, I could maybe a 9. Give it a 9. Series-wise, the whole series, it gets an 8 out of 10 for me. But the last couple episodes I thought was done very well. They set up it in a way that you basically have Ikki go through literally hell, complete hell, and he comes in to basically fight who seems to be the most powerful of the students, which is the president of the student council, Toda, and her like sword has the ability of lightning and shit. That final battle was so ridiculous because he basically said "fuck it" and just used his most powerful technique against her. I'm not gonna tell you what happened, but that whole scene was amazing. And the fights in this series with the swords and everything, pretty beast. There's some that are pretty good. I found. They're very, very good. And give credits due. Ikki goes to a lot of shit, and he's able to win. It is truly amazing that with all these other swordsmen or swordswomen, with all these different abilities, and he doesn't have any special abilities with his, and he's able to defeat people based on only sword techniques. Well, he does have this one ability kind of thing, but logistically, he had to work his way from the bottom to get to where he was. Now, like I said, 8 out of 10 for it. I'm really impressed with the last couple episodes. I cannot lie here. They were fucking amazing. I really thought they set it up very nicely. If the rest of the anime was like that, then I'd probably give it close to 10. But no. The reason I give it an 8 out of 10 is because obviously, it's one of those series that, you kind of seen before. In fact, Asterisk and this are very similar to each other. So that's why. But still, 8 out of 10. Very good series. Good animation. Story's pretty good. Character-wise, there are a few characters here and there that I consider good. But I give it an 8 out of 10. It's doable. It's doable. Yeah, and FYI, his father can eat a dick. Ikki's father. He really can just eat a dick and jump off a cliff. And while you're at it, you can tell that fat, stupid, stereotypical, whatever you want to call him, Arza. Yeah, he jumps off a cliff too, and he gets speared by a sharp rock. Those were definitely the scumbags of this show. But in all, he proved them all wrong. He proved his father wrong. He proved, all the naysayers, and he was able to persevere. And I think that's pretty fucking amazing. This is part in the last episode. I'll spoil this to you guys. He says to Stella that he wants her to be with be his family, be his family, and she takes it as that he wants her to be his bride. And at the end of the episode, it seems like he's trying to tell her what he meant by that, but he never gets to say it. And I'm telling you right now, I know exactly what he meant by that. He meant it as a sister or something like that, because it's so ridiculous. And I always say, well, I wouldn't be doing that shit. I'd say, well, fuck it, I'm marrying her. It's just, what's wrong with him? But yeah, 8 out of 10. Not much left. All we got left, all I have left to do is, there's, trying to think now. There's, shit, I forgot. No, Young Blackjack and King. Now, those are going to be difficult to do because a lot of episodes to watch. Young Blackjack, there's about 5. K is a shit ton. Gotta watch a shit ton of K episodes. So, probably what's going to happen is this weekend, I want to get through those. Once I'm all caught up with the animes and stuff, I should be able to get back on the saddle with my manga reviewing and stuff. Give or take a few. But it was a good series. Yeah, it was enjoyable. I liked it. Look forward to it. I did. No, I did. I really honestly believe that. I thought the sword fights were pretty beast. And he basically said, fuck you all. I'm going to prove you wrong. And he did. So, more power to him. I'm Bonkai922. I'll see you guys later. Ikki X Stella? I fuck her. Ah! I'll see you guys later. Peace.